Oh boy. Hey everybody and welcome to Elden Dogs. Elden Dogs is back, everyone. We're so excited. I can't sum up my feelings and my emotions in less than 25 hours. So we'll be cooking for a while here. I was known as Sir Gideon Offnear. We will be debuting our new characters next episode when we dive in properly to a deep dive. But just today, you can call me Brad.
And I'm Tyler, formerly known as Alexander, but...
Ooh, we're going to try and distance yourself from Alexander, I see, huh?
Well, he's broken.
Before we get into anything, light spoilers. Spoilers, actually, just spoilers. We won't say who the final boss is because, Tyler, you haven't made it there yet.
Nope.
And we're not going to spoil anything ahead of Tyler, but to play it safe, if you don't want anything spoiled... avoid this episode for now and come back. But you were saying, now that spoiler wall is broken.
Oh, yeah, no, just that Alexander, I mean, he's dead.
He is dead.
Yeah,
and Gideon's been dead for a while, too.
Yeah, so it is time that I pick a new person. But I was finally able to dive into the DLC, and I'm glad I waited because I had a lot going on work-wise and some indie game month stuff.
Yeah. Now, yesterday evening, I beat the DLC for the second time.
That's impressive.
It's so good, dude. Yes, Shadow of the Erdtree. Initial thoughts, great. Very fucking good. Best DLC I've ever played.
I was thinking about that on the way over here, and I didn't know if I was going to say, like, best DLC I've ever played, but I normally don't get DLCs.
Yeah, the new Cyberpunk one. I know you were hot on that.
That was the only one that I could think of that rivaled this.
As far as, like, content and story... And I mean, this is unparalleled as far as the scope of the DLC here.
The Witcher 3 had a good DLC too.
Yeah. And The Witcher 3's DLC was ranked number one as the best DLC of all time until Shadow of the Erdtree. And they released some super sick art. The studio of...
was it Geralt fighting Moog?
It was Geralt having killed Moog.
Yeah.
And we also want to... issue an apology to Moog. You don't know enough about it yet, but
I'm starting to learn.
Yeah, Moog, we're sorry. We were quick to judge. We didn't have all the facts. You still kind of suck.
Yeah,
but we don't know how much of it was your choice. So Moog, we apologize.
So do you want me to put up my spoiler wall so you know what I know?
That would be good. Yes. Before we jump in.
Okay, so I fought Mesmer about 14 times last night before bed.
Mesmer's good.
I got him close twice. Other than that motherfucker, I'm going to have to come back to. I got some leveling up to do because I can get him down to like close to a quarter of his health bar, and then he just murks me. His second form with the snakes is a nightmare. And he moves so quickly and so much fire, I can't fucking tell where he's at.
I'm dancing right now with excitement about it.
I can't tell where he's at.
I think Mesmer might be my favorite boss battle of the DLC. It is
so far.
It is the most technical, the most fun to anticipate moves, the most fun to dodge. You do not know about the final boss, which is the toughest boss I have fought in any video game ever.
Damn.
Easily. And I got destroyed by the Orphan of Kos for a long time. I haven't played Sekiro. I know people say Sekiro is... if you want tough bosses, that's the one to do, but...
and then story-wise, so as much as I know so far, is I accidentally triggered a shattering of some sort.
Okay, yes.
The sky lit up gold, and I was just riding torrent, minding my own business, and something shattered somewhere.
I forget this specific wording, but a great rune is shattered, and it is a small point of no return. There are a number of complaints people have about the DLC, and one of them is the NPC quests, man. It's out there. It's just like every other FromSoft game, though, where it's very easy to miss things. It's very easy to screw up timing. It's sometimes wonky, having to talk to a character, reload, talk to him again, travel back to that site of grace. It's a little weird, and I was fortunate enough my first playthrough to almost miss nothing, but you and I are playing a different way. I know my brother was playing and he accidentally triggered it early. There is a number of NPC quests that you might miss out on a couple items. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, and I'm not super worried about missing out because it's a DLC I'm going to play again. And I mean, this is just the order of events and my exploration, which for me, the biggest thing about the DLC that I enjoy is that sense of exploration and not knowing what's going to come next. Because for the DLC, I played my strength faith build through and beat the game. And it's much better than my spell sword build. So it's now my new main.
Interesting, because my first DLC play was a intelligence dexterity build. And she's modeled after my wife. She does a lot of like ranged sorceries, Wing of Estelle, and she kind of got spanked. She got spanked a lot, and my strength faith build I did for my second playthrough. Once I found that great katana, I kept experimenting, but whenever something was going down, I'm like, well, let me pull out this ridiculously long 10-foot sheath I've been carrying around. Sephiroth would be afraid of me with that fucker. And it's nice too, because I go up against a enemy weak to a certain thing, just go change my affinity and change the scaling, throw some grease on that bitch.
Yeah. The Blasphemous Blade is incredibly overpowered.
You need to keep experimenting though.
I know, but I got the Death Knight's twin axes.
Yep.
And I got those up to like +8 or 9. And I've been rocking those a little bit because they scale with faith. And I mean, it makes the game a little more challenging because it's like 300 less damage, but it's kind of fun to just beat dudes down with dual axes.
Oh yeah. Well, what's so great about the Great Katana is almost every enemy, other than the biggest of jars, some horned warriors, some big type enemies. It's like instantly interrupts their attacks and stops them. So I'm slow, but I can just get combos in where they can't respond, and it's just fucking good.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do something different for Mesmer because he's fire, and the Blasphemous Blade is fire.
Yeah.
So I've been using Bloodhound's Fang because that's my usual go-to bleed weapon because I can rock it pretty well, and I have it all the way up +10. So that's usually my go-to, but I found the giant katana. I just don't have enough dexterity to wield it.
Yeah.
So I might respec and just move a few points around a little bit because there is quite a few weapons that I have to equip a talisman to use because I don't have enough dex.
I was surprised to hear what level you were playing at in the DLC.
Well, that's when I started. I'm over 120 now. I'm getting close to 130.
That's fucking low to me, but that's good. I don't know. I think a lot of people going to this DLC were Chad leveled, like 150, 200.
Okay, yeah. So
they also quickly found out it doesn't matter too much getting started. Some things it helps to have a lot more health, but a lot of it comes down to the Erdtree fragments.
I don't know how far I am or if they actually did patch the game, but there was a lot of criticism that this game was too hard.
People are so dumb.
I didn't die until I got to the hippo.
That's the golden hippo?
Yeah, I beat.
What bosses did you beat?
I beat the lion. I beat Renala.
You beat R'Lana.
R'Lana, yeah. I'm telling you,
you beat R'Lana first try. That's pretty good.
I'm telling you, the Blasphemous Blade. The hippo murked me though. Like I got killed like 4 times in a row, real quick.
Yeah,
but
you didn't go to the Western Nameless Mausoleum, I'm guessing.
No,
the Black Jail Knight.
The Black Jail Knight. What does he drop?
Well, he's the very first boss most people run into, and they get destroyed.
Oh, no. I thought you guys were talking about one of the invaders at the first castle. There's a knight that invades you, and he has like a fire poker.
It's Queeline.
Yeah. I thought that was the knight that we were talking about in the DLC, and I was like, what?
No.
I was like, what's going on? And then that's when I was reading that people said the game was hard, and then you guys were talking about a knight, and I thought it was that fucking dude. I was like, am I a god? Am I just that good?
You are going to see the final boss, and you're going to be crying, and you're going to say, Bradley, I don't know what happened.
Well, I've gotten to the point now where I cannot beat Mesmer. I have to go back. I have to get more Erdtree
fragments.
A lot
of people say Erdtree. It is Old English, and I believe it is Shadu. That's what Google yielded.
I need to do some leveling up. But then lore-wise, my spoiler is, what is your character's name? The beard and the mask?
Oh, Ansbach. I will be Ansbach.
Yeah. I talked to Ansbach.
Ansbach, he's a good guy.
They have taken Moog's body.
Yeah.
And they are going to use his body as a vessel for the king consort. Apparently. Mikola's up to some shit.
Allegedly.
And then they're talking about some shit with Radahn.
There's a lot of talk.
So
there's a lot of talk about a lot of people.
That's as far as I've gotten into the story, at least. That's what I know.
You are also on a bit of a beeline, maybe unintentionally, but you see where they tell you to go and you go there, which for me, I actually go everywhere but there on my playthrough.
Oh, yeah, no, they said to go do it, so I did it.
Oh, yes, there's so much.
I'm doubling back now. I need to get stronger for Mesmer, so I'm doubling back at this point.
So, yes, let's talk about some of the other complaints people have, like the difficulty.
I think it's fine.
I don't know what people fucking thought they were getting into with a From Software DLC. Did you not think you would get spanked? And is that not a little bit why we're here? Don't we like to get spanked?
We are a little bit of masochists.
I kind of like to get spanked sometimes.
Dude, that fucking monk dude that jumps off the top of that little tower, the first enemy you can run into, he's sitting on one of those little, like...
Oh, a little curse blade.
Fuck that dude.
You know what sucks about him? They also drop only like 3,000 runes.
It's not even worth your time.
No, but their armor is sick. And I was making my checklist of things I'm missing, and I do need some ascetic armor set. Difficulty. The way this game levels up, so just you're level 116, you're level 250 when you go in, you will be nerfed down to a low level because you level up with Shadow Tree fragments, and that's how you level up essentially how much damage you can take and how much damage you can give. And that goes for all of your damage dealing and all of your damage receiving. You start at, Shadow Tree level 1. There are 50 Shadow Tree fragments scattered throughout the map.
There's 50?
50.
Oh, damn.
And my first playthrough, I found that I was missing maybe 15 when I was at the end, and then I realized I would never actually beat the final boss, so I just went and I better find these fucking fragments. And then there's the Revered Spirit Ashes, which power up your Spirit Ashes, and I believe that's what also helps Torrent get able to take more damage as well.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because the Shadow Tree fragments level me up, and the other ones level up my Mimic tier.
Levels up you.
It's just it's me and it's thing 1 and thing 2 at this point.
My love affair with the Mimic tier ended the first playthrough because I don't know if the AI they changed it, but I noticed that my Sorceress Mimic tier, she was a big old useless pile of poopy. And I abandoned her pretty quick. And it's my Great Katana motherfucker. That's a good Mimic tier.
Yeah.
Because we just like alternate hits and it is just blood loss, blood loss, blood loss.
Oh, yeah. Me and I call him Frank because I have a dog named Frank.
You and Frankie.
I call my Mimic tier Frank. And we just Taker's Flame over and over. And it's just like the range on it is insane. So if he draws aggro, I can just hit you from across the arena sometimes.
I do love when I have on my hotbar a hefty furnace pot, which is the strongest, biggest fire pot.
Oh, yeah.
Don't use them.
Oh, I used them.
You want to save those for something specific. You'll be fine without them, but you want them.
Okay.
Don't worry. There's a lot more visages out there, but it's great when I'm holding some on my hotbar and then my Mimic gets summoned and he's just lofting those fuckers like crazy.
I love big pots.
And I cannot lie. And you other brothers, you other Tarnish can't deny that when a Hornsent walks in with a little bitty pot
and
a caterpillar mask in your face,
you get greased.
You get greased, motherfucker. Yes, so it's just like the main game. I remember when the first time you played base game Elden Ring, you and Devin, it's like you walk forward, you see Margit, then you turn around.
Yep. I do I do think that I didn't expect the world to be as cool as it was going to be and as big as it was going to be. And you saying that
Holy shit, so big.
When you said I made a beeline, I realized that while I was playing last night. Because I'm fighting Mesmer. And I don't know if my prediction was correct.
Because you're probably at what, hour 15 of your playthrough?
Yeah, probably pretty close.
I mean, I'd count 3 hours of super drunk playing as 1 hour of real playing, maybe.
Yeah, that first night I was hammered.
I will say I was near blackout the first time I did the Erdtree. And I woke up the next day and I was like, what is going on here? Man.
Well, I realized I was drunk, so I didn't want to do anything to fuck my play up. So I was like, I'm just going to try and kill this fire giant as many times as I can. The big furnace golem thing that you run into right away. So I just spent a long time fighting him, and then I went to bed.
Yeah, furnace golems are the worst, dumbest enemies in the game.
I don't like them at all.
Well, they're the design stunning, beautiful. I like looking at you, and it's nice because you can be a billion miles away, and they have a less loaded in version, so you can see it moving around over there.
Yeah,
it helps landmarks. It helps just you can keep track of like kind of where you are. They're not fun to fight after the first couple. And I guess you'd figure it out anyways, because eventually you find them with armor on their legs and you can't attack their legs. So you have to get up high and you throw pots into the top.
Oh, hell yeah.
We're
playing basketball.
Kobe. They're so not fun to play.
Fuck that, dude.
They're so not fun. There's so many of them too. But yes, the difficulty. So, collect more Erdtree fragments. Collect more revered spirit ashes. My major gripe with the whole system: there is a finite number. You need all of them to level up to level 20 Erdtree. You can't miss any, and they're hidden. Like some of them you get in like the main path. Some of them are off the beaten path. A random enemy drops them. You see a shiny shadow undead with a glowy pot, kill them. They're carrying items.
Oh, no shit.
But you're not going to find them all unless you're very meticulous and kind of lucky. So I don't like that you need them all to level up to 20. And I don't like that you just find them in the map. I wish it was defeating bosses. Like, you defeat a boss, you get 3 of them. And then you just, like, that'd be a cool way. If every boss you defeated and there was, like, 50 bosses in the map, I would really like that more, I think.
They do have, like, those buildings that are kind of like Churches of America. And I think I found one at one of those. I do like that, where you used to find, like, sacred tears in the base game. Like, that makes sense that you'd find one
landmarks
at this place.
Yeah. Instead of random fucking enemies.
Yeah, it is weird how sometimes like they'll be tucked. I found one like in a cave randomly. I think I'm up to level 8. The number in the parentheses is what level your Erdtree level, right?
Shadu.
Yeah, I'm 8.
Yep. I will say second playthrough is different than the first. First playthrough, no guides. Until I need a gesture. Because I'm not going to fucking know that one.
Yeah.
There's 2 times you need a gesture.
Well, the monk.
You know that one. There is another one where you're like, how do I get there? That's the only place I can't get. How do I get there? And you got to do a specific gesture at a specific spot. And fine. That's some real esoteric From Software shit. I would never have found that without a guide. Some dweeb on a playground would have told me if I was a younger kid.
Well, you texted me how to find that lever. It took me forever and a goddamn day to find that thing.
Man, you were going through the specimen storehouse so weirdly.
Dude, for real, man.
I knew you could get down. Yeah, I hope we're not spoiling too much for people. You're here. Deal with it. Yeah, the specimen storehouse, if you go through the back section, it's more like a super hot quick path to the top, and you were going down it to the bottom. Then you entered the front door from behind.
Dude, when I killed the hippo and then I saw the big door and I was like, oh, here we go.
And then you went back to where you were.
And then I opened it and I was like, this is the beginning?
Yeah.
And then it dawned on me that I had done it backwards. And I was like, the fuck fuck is going on?
Which is valid. I mean, it's a valid way, but yeah, there's... Okay, so let's say you take the front door. There's probably 4 different ways out of the keep.
Yeah, because you can go left or right from the hippo.
There's a lot of ways you can go do things. Plus, I'm sure you missed by the Tibia Mariner boats and the Vulgar Militia. There's a ladder there that you can go down.
Didn't even see the Tibia Mariner boat.
There's like 8 boats in a row that are kind of burning.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, there's a ladder around there.
Oh, yeah, there's a ladder that you can get down, and then you go to into the swampy area.
Yep.
And then there's the dead furnace guy.
Very good.
Yeah. I went down that way and then realized it took me out of the keep, and I was like, I didn't fight a boss because I hadn't found the hippo yet, so I was like, I gotta go back. Mm-hmm. So then I went back, and then I went out the other side, and I ended up in the jungle place, and I was like, I didn't fight a boss, I gotta go back.
Some other new concepts, Miquela's crosses. There's not a ton of mechanics to them other than they're around the map. You'll see them. They're marked on your map. Mm-hmm. Spirit springs. Have you discovered a spirit spring that doesn't work yet?
I did topple some rocks.
Oh, okay.
And I unlocked one, but I have no idea what they are, where it is. So I have to do some exploring.
If you topple the rock, there is a spirit spring right next to those rocks.
Oh, sweet. Well, where was that fucking building at?
Well, okay. So critical path. Let's just first, how do we get into the DLC? You have to defeat Mohg and Radahn. You need to go to the Mohgwyn Dynasty Mausoleum, and there you will find a new NPC named Leda. And she's like, come on, dude, touch that fucking arm. Do it slow. I want to watch. Essentially, her and her not her followers, her and a group, a party of
like-minded rapscallions.
They're a mixed bag. There's a lot of them. You got the Hornsent. He's just kind of a native out there. You have Freya. She's like, I love Radahn. He's my homie. He's my guy. Ansbach, my favorite dude. He's Team Mohg.
Yeah.
More you don't know a lot about, and you won't learn a lot about him unless you do some really weird stuff, which you've already missed. But he's associated with pests, which is cool. Tiolier, Saint Trina. You'll meet Tiolier eventually, and it's just a weird group. But yeah, then you touch the withered arm, and that's Miquela's dead body. So Miquela had to abandon his body to go there, do some weird magic shit. He needed Mohg to take him there, cocoon him up, but you can tell because the ring that Miquela is wearing in like the cutscenes, the trailers, is the same ring that the withered arm has. So I know some people were trying to say that wasn't Miquela in the cocoon, but it is indeed Miquela.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then you go to the Realm of Shadow, just the size of Limgrave, little area.
Yeah, it is super stunning. It's kind of like a little bit grim.
Maybe when he says the size of Limgrave, he means if you took Limgrave and set it on its side, it's that tall. I think that's what Miyazaki really meant.
Yeah, because it's bigger than I thought it was going to be. Because I still have to uncover like at least 2 map portions.
Yeah,
it looks like
you'll have a tricky time, maybe.
Well, I think I found where one is, but I don't want to go that far because I'm already like kind of a little further ahead than I should be.
You're gonna find some scary stuff, dude.
I'm going back now, and I'm just gonna start pacing through.
You got a lot to explore. Very happy about it. Yes, the Realm of Shadow. This region appears to originally have been located in the center of the lands between. People have done the map comparisons, dropped it in the center. It makes sense. There is a location called the Suppressing Pillar in the Gravesite Plains, and it even says in the description, the very center of the lands between. Pretty conclusive.
Yeah.
And the Veil is what's hiding it. The Hornsent were this realm, this people were warred upon by Mesmer, another child of Queen Marika and possibly the eldest. He was born with a snake living inside of him, who threatened to take him over. To prevent this, Marika removed one of his eyes and placed her seal there instead.
Oh, that makes sense then. Forgive me, mother. He's cool. I have a theory that he was born with a tapeworm, and the tapeworm just grew up.
And
because that boy is skinny.
The tapeworm got the great rune, and the tapeworm is just like a big old monster.
Because that snake pisses me off.
I think it's kind of cute.
I mean, it's cool. I have a snake tattooed on my arm, so I'm kind of cool about it. But I don't like getting beat that much. Very competitive. He's got the coolest character design by far of anything, close to Melania. I'd say those are my two favorite.
Yeah, I might have to agree.
I also am a big Moog fan though, because the horn curving into the eye, that's pretty dope too.
Moog is heavy metal as fuck. Yes, Mesmer was sent to the realm of shadow to enact a war of vengeance upon the horn scent.
So the horn scent are the tower people?
Yes, anyone that's got like the caterpillar mask, like the horn faces.
Yeah.
And yes, Mesmer was sent to do a war that nobody wanted, that would never be acknowledged. Horrible atrocities.
So the Coast Guard. That was a bad joke.
No, possibly.
I don't know. I was just making fun of the Coast Guard.
But yeah, but Mesmer's got his own crew. They all go there. It's like Rolana is Renala's younger sister, and she's like, yes, I'm coming. Gaius. Have you seen Gaius?
I don't think so. What does Gaius look like?
He's riding an animal.
No.
You don't want to. Gaius was the second most difficult boss for me.
Gaius sounds like a good time.
Okay. He got patched. Initially, sometimes the first time you run into a boss, they start far away. And you're like, what the fuck's going on over there? And then they come to you.
Yeah.
Initially, every time you re-entered the door, Gaius would be fucking full speed, like 10 feet away from you, ready to destroy you. But then they patched it into where he starts further away every time to give you a moment to breathe. Some people were dying so fast that their runes were not even through the fog gate. They were stayed on the other side of the door.
Holy shit.
No joke.
Oh, man.
Yeah. And then Mikola, twin brother to Melania, and the Empyrean, whose steps we follow in the DLC, is attempting something. I won't spoil it for you. Let's just say that there are plans.
Yeah, it's. I'm trying to follow it a little more closely than I did the main story, and I think I'm succeeding. But then, like we've covered already last night, I realized that I had kind of pushed the pace a little fast because I felt like I was further than I should be, but I was like, this castle's cool. I'm staying here.
It's not further than you should be. It is precisely where you mean to.
Yeah, where Gerard's story currently is.
Yeah. Of course, you named him after My Chemical Romance.
Of course.
My character's name is Martin Lionel, named after my cat.
That's good.
But he looks like me. He does look like me.
I did name my Spirit Ash after my dog, so
yeah,
that's a common thread.
Fingers and jars. We learned a lot about both of them. What are your thoughts on jars? Did you like that the Ballarat jail?
Amazing dungeon. I hate the platforming. I died more platforming than anything, jumping down the jars, which was cool.
Was that your first time seeing the
inside of a jar?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was gross. And then they have like some Half-Life fucking 2 thing that comes out of their stomach. Scared the shit out of me. And then there's oftentimes those motherfuckers will be around a corner. The amount of times I've jumped, there's a lot more corner and surprise attacks in the DLC than there was in the main game, I feel.
Yeah.
It's terrifying.
Something that I found super useful is you can like enter a network code. I forget what it is in the settings. Mine is set to the Bonfire Side chat group and then Vati Vidya. So generally, I'm seeing messages and, the blood stains from more like-minded individuals. If I entered the network code Fortnite, it would be a lot of fingers but holes.
Yeah.
But
I didn't know that. I would like to be on the same one.
Because there's a lot of times where, if there's a message before a turn and it says, be wary of right, I'm going to be wary of right.
I dropped one in the Shadow Keep, be wary of left, and it's getting appraised the fuck out of it.
Yeah.
I said that weird, but you get what I mean. And then I went back and some asshole put the same message, but further, like closer to the way you would come. And I was like, don't try to.
It could have been there. It could have been there before.
Nah, I was first.
Oh, okay.
Don't dim my light.
Nah, but there's a number of times. There's one really weird quest progression way down south where you have to do something stupid multiple times in a row, but the message said this and this, and then this and this. And I was able to parse it out, which was cool. Critical path, once you enter the area. The first mandatory boss is the golden hippopotamus. You're able to get to the golden hippo without doing anything else.
I figured it would have been the lion.
You didn't get anything from that.
No, I got a cool helmet.
Yeah, you did.
I got a cool helmet.
Put the helmet on and go talk to that old lady if you haven't talked to her yet. Did you talk to the old lady in there? Horn Scent Grandam?
Oh, yeah.
Talk to her with the helmet on.
Is he going to freak her out?
Well, it's like if... just do it.
Okay.
Yeah. So golden hippopotamus, go up and you've met Mesmer. After that, there's one more boss, and then the final boss is the critical mandatory path.
No shit.
Because, even Rolana, there's a way to sneak around the back with a spirit spring.
Wow.
Yeah, it's the speedrunning implications are pretty cool. One thing that's awesome for the second playthrough, I can look at the guides. I can look at the Fextra Life map, and I got to level 10 before fighting a single enemy, pretty much. Helps when you can just go directly to, everything on the map that you're looking for.
Yeah, because some of those shadow trees.
Shadow tree.
Shadow tree fragments, you don't have to do anything to get. They're just laying around.
Some major areas and quests. You've already met Count Emir at the Cathedral of Manus Metter.
Yep. That was pretty cool.
You haven't followed his map to the first spot, though, I can tell.
No, and is there a way to look at the maps better? Like, because you press, like, you can bring the map up.
Yeah, those maps that they give you are useless.
It's drawn by, like, a blind kindergartner.
You'll know.
And the size of a thumbnail.
You'll know when you get there.
Because I'm like, if I could just get a little closer to it and see what it actually is, that'd be nice. Luckily, my phone has 1,000,000 times zoom. Mm-hmm. So I've zoomed in on them, and you can kind of see. He also said something when I was leaving, because he was like, hey, what's up? We don't really get many visitors. Like, it's cool that you're here. Let me give you some, like, a medium offering. And I was like, all right, cool. And then he gave me the bell or whatever to, like, do the whole shit. And then I was like, because I keep talking to people until they repeat themselves like 3 times.
Naturally. And then you reload and do it again.
Yes. And so I'm talking to him, and then he said something that images of Bach just flashed through my mind, because he's like, please mind yourself on the way out. You wouldn't want to hurt the poor boy, or something like that. I'm like, who do you got locked up in here?
There is another character in that room, too, that you might have missed.
Yeah, I didn't look.
The Sword Hand of Night Yolan.
Well, I didn't look too hard, because then I got distracted by something. And then before you knew it, I was at Shadowkeep.
So if you're walking in towards Emir, just a little bit to the right before you get there is Yolan. You'll see them doing an Ensha lean against a pillar.
Oh, that's scary. I don't like that.
There are so many new things in this game. 103 new weapons.
What's the name of that place? The
Cathedral of Manus Metter. Yes, this is going to be a lot of stats, a lot of numbers, but 103 new weapons.
Jesus Christ.
1 dagger, 5 straight swords.
There's only 1 new dagger.
1 new dagger. 5 straight swords, 3 great swords, 5 colossal swords, 1 thrusting sword, 2 heavy thrusting swords, 4 curved swords, 2 curved great swords, 2 katanas, 2 twin blades, 4 axes, 3 great axes, a hammer, a flail, 2 great hammers, 5 colossal weapons, 3 spears, 4 great spears, 2 halberds, 1 reaper, 1 whip.
I want to do a whip build so bad.
5 fists, including hands, that apparently you just slide your hand into another hand. It's really gross.
Like in Always Sunny, where he's got the big hands.
Yes.
That's cool.
Exactly like that.
That's awesome.
And there's another fist is called the Pada, and it's essentially you just have like 2 swords on the end of your arm.
Are the backwards curved swords?
No. This is a fist weapon.
Oh, sweet.
The backhand blades are great, though.
I just found one of those.
Those are fun. Yeah. 1 claw, 1 light bow, 1 bow, 1 great bow, 2 crossbows, 1 ballista, and that ballista does magic damage and has tracking, which is kind of cool.
Damn.
Homing rocket launcher.
If only my character was smart.
2 glintstone staves. 1 enhances glintstone sorceries, and then the Staff of the Great Beyond. This is diabolical. This staff can do sorceries and incantations.
So it scales intelligence faith?
It can, no, I don't know if you're understanding. It can do sorceries and incantations, one weapon. You don't need a seal and a staff. It can do both.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
It's the only one, and I love it. It's insane. That scales with intelligence and faith.
Good, 'cause I got a lot of faith.
You might be a glass cannon with it, but there's 3 new sacred seals, 2 torches. Fuck, man. You haven't seen a lamenting visage yet, but once you get it, it's a skull, like a decapitated head, that you hold up and it glows. It's like a new torch, but you just hold up a head.
I love it.
It's sick.
It's some like God of War shit.
8 new shields, and then we of course have 8 new weapon types.
Oh my God, I want to use the attack shield so bad. I got the one that...
You got 1.
I have 2 now.
Okay, so you have all of them.
Oh, really?
There's 2 of them.
The lion that you get from Freya. Well, that's not really an attack
that's
one.
not a dueling shield.
It's just got a... But I have the one that... Is her name's not Renala?
R'Lana. That's not one either.
Yeah, it is, because it's got the spike on both ends, and you can...
You didn't get that from Alana, though.
No, I found that in, I think, the storeroom.
Yep.
Or somewhere.
Yep.
Yeah.
You get both of them from that room, actually.
Motherfucker.
Yes, the thrusting shields are a new variant of large shields that can be used to attack or defend. You can perform lunging stabs and also be prepared to block on the fly.
I just need one that doesn't scale with intelligence because I'm not respecing to use a shield.
I don't know if they can have their affinities changed.
I don't think so. And
give it a try. I think they can. Because you can remove the Ashes of War from them, so you might be able to change their affinities.
Yeah.
Give it a try.
I'll have to. And
go say hi to our boy.
I'll have to go take off my Radon armor then, because that is a heavy... It's a heavy shield. One
thing I've found in this game, the enemies are so much quicker. You haven't actually fought a lot of bosses yet, in a weird way. So many of the bosses are combo beasts where you have to dodge multiple attacks in a row.
Dude, those fucking... What are the name of the fire guys in the Shadow Keep with the...
The Fire Knights?
Those guys are nightmares. They're easily the hardest normal enemy I've run into.
You're going to meet an enemy called the Horned Warrior.
Fuck that. I already hate it.
The Fire Knight, I love, because with my sorceress, she was like, beep, 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 from distance and took him down. And with my Great Katana religious boy, they can't attack. If I get a hit, they get staggered. So I just keep hitting him and hitting him. And then if I do an artful dodge, they can't attack me.
I get in close, and then I can stagger them pretty easily with the Blasphemous Blade. But getting in close, especially when they just keep attacking, especially the one with the 2 daggers that just spins and spins and spins, and then you dodge for an hour and a half, and you're like, "This is my chance." And he's like, "No, I'm gonna light these on fire and attack some more."
I'm gonna light these on fire.
Yep. And then I finally get in, I swing and I miss because he backpedals, and then he's like, "I'm gonna throw fire at you now." I'm just like, you are designed against my build.
Yeah, and since you fought Mesmer, you fought that one Fire Knight. I forget their name. There's that on the bridge.
Yeah, with the fucking
unique spells.
Yeah, I do. I want to get a weapon that I can put that on because that is got some range. Do you think it has as much range if I use it though?
No, absolutely not.
Yeah,
nothing's as good when you use it.
I know.
It's a rule. Great Katanas, the Odachi. Far more damage at the cost of a slower attack. There are light great swords. There's 3 of those in the game. Long, thin blades with a surprisingly long reach.
I just found one of those.
Which one? Do you remember?
I mean, it was pretty early on.
I like R'Lana's light great swords when you dual wield them.
Maybe that's the one I'm thinking of, yeah. And then you can do...
Because one's got a Karian design, the other one's got like a Mesmer design.
Yeah. I did see a clip of somebody who uses... one of those swords that does magic and fire, kind of like the what's the sword they use? The Sword of Night and Flame. Mm-hmm. It's like a similar one, but different art of war on it or something like that.
Yeah, and that's cool. The light great swords are fun too because Milady. Have you got Milady?
What is that?
It's like a very artful the way you move, it's
Is that very long, skinny sword?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's got a really sick thrust that like instantly staggers a lot of smaller enemies. I like the Milady a lot. Those are kind of fun because then they can do stances. Like the Milady, you can do different stances on where you can like hold a stance till an enemy gets close, and then you do like a certain riposte on top of it.
Do you know if the Great Katana and Milady do you enhance them with somber smithing stones or regular smithing stones?
The Great Katana is regular. I'm not sure on Milady. Milady.
Yeah, because I'm getting tired of using my somber smithing stones. I hoard them.
That brings up an interesting point. A lot of people, at least on the Reddit, they're like, "Oh, great, another cookbook." They're like bummed about finding cookbooks, and I'm sitting there. It's like, it's why we're here. You know, we're out here to. You can't expect every single item to be a game-breaking talisman or the dopest weapon ever. It needs to have variety. And what's nice about cookbooks is it increases what you can craft.
Yeah,
and it also it's lore. Every cookbook is a little bit of lore, and I love it. And I love that there's a shitload of gloveworts and smithing stones because I have so many new weapons, and you need to power them up. And so I want to have everything powered up to at least up to the somber ancient and then the regular ancient.
24 and 9.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't need everything to be like a holy shit moment. In fact, cookbooks are one of my favorite things to find because there's the off chance I'm going to be able to make a new pot.
Yeah.
And I love fucking pots. Especially, I noticed I use them a lot more now that I have like the Blasphemous Blade where you can't grease it. Because I liked the grease because it was like fight specific. Like, oh shit, he's fire, I'm going to bleed him or, whatever. I can't do that anymore, but you can always use pots.
Have you ever watched Workaholics?
Yes.
You know when Anders pulls away his pants before he goes swimming?
Yeah.
That's how it's as cool as that would like, if you go into a battle and you just like grease up your weapon before you go in, it's as cool as ripping off tearaway pants.
Oh, 100%.
That's how it feels anyway. That's really stupid, but it reminded me of that.
And a lot of people are acting like Anders right now when they find a cookbook. They're like, hey, what's up with all them books?
I love them. I have almost every book I found. There's a lot. Perfume bottles. Have you found any perfume bottles yet?
I think I found one, maybe. But
it's just a weapon now. You don't have to craft things for them.
Oh, I did not even pay attention to it because I was like, I didn't have time for that in the base game. I don't got time for it now.
Dude, I'm actually just playing as an Aeropostale model. I just turn on some really shitty like mall techno.
Dude, I'm gonna make an only perfumer build, and his name's gonna be Giorgio Armani.
Make a commercial.
Yeah. Oh, dude, Vati Video
Life
should do that.
Is fast. Giorgio. Yeah, Perfumers Rejoice. There are 5 different forms of sparks that deal elemental damage on demand. You can dual wield different ones and make little color combinations.
They call that a mixologist.
Or sparklers.
Sparklers. It was just the 4th of July.
Backhand blades. There are 3 different backhand blades where you wield the blade of the sword opposite to the direction of the wielding hand thumb. There's the backhand blades, which is the one that actually looks like swords. The other ones are like these circle things that kind of go all the way around the hand.
Like the Chronicle of Riddick blades?
Maybe. I don't know. It's been a while. Throwing blades. It's weird that there's only one throwing blade in that category when there's a lot of throwing weapons in this. There's a throwing shield.
Does it recall like Captain America's shield?
Yep.
Really?
There's a throwing great hammer. Your guy spins around like 3 times and then launches it at an enemy.
Oh, shit.
It's cool, but I don't think it's got a lot of utility. Yeah, they have tons of different throwing weapons, but the throwing blade is the only one that actually is under throwing blades. Hand-to-hand arts, which you don't have yet, but you can once you go talk to that monk with that gesture.
Yeah. I got to write that down. That's right.
Yeah, martial arts with a quick and varied moveset, staggering combo finishers. There's 2 different kinds there, and then also different Ashes of War. You can tweak them up a little bit. And then there are 2 Beast Claws, hand-to-hand with great mobility and rapid attacks, much broader and bigger attacks than the faster hand-to-hand arts. I did a respec for the final boss. I was trying to go in and do my magic damage and play it safe, and she got spanked. So then I respec'd to be beast claws. The realm of shadow changes a person, the land of shadow, because
You have to adapt.
Carly, she went from like, I use this elegant weapon and I wear a robe, and by the end she's got a bear head on and these fucking claws and she's covered in blood. But yeah, just went full beast mode and they do blood loss and you can get a lot of hits in. It's super dangerous though. A lot of new tools. There's the toughest one to get is a charming branch. You can't get it because you already missed part of that quest, but
Motherfucker.
with this branch, you use FP to charm a group of enemies. So you can hit like 5 of them and then they'll all fight against other enemies for you.
I like that.
There's 12 new greases. Heavy pots.
I love the heavy pots.
A lot of new talismans. A lot of good ones. New incantations. 28 new incantations, 14 new sorceries, 16 new ashes of war, 20 new spirit ashes. I won't say what my favorite is because I don't want to spoil anything. And there's some forms. 2 new forms.
W2, 1099R.
Lamenter.
Is that for taxes?
And something else. I won't say what the other one is because that would just be too exciting for you. But you use an item and you look different.
Ooh.
It's like a whole different thing.
That's intriguing.
I don't want to say. Pretty exciting stuff.
Yeah, I'm blown away by. I mean, it's been so long since I got to rediscover the Lands Between, and I think that's my biggest takeaway from having the DLC and being in the situation that I'm currently in, where I have kind of blocked out a little bit of some quest lines, and I'm okay with it. Is the fact that like you get to explore again. Like I played Elden Ring through twice, but I know where everything is, and I can use a guide if I need. Oh, I want this specific weapon right now, so that this two bosses from now is easier to deal with. I don't have that anymore. I don't have a guide. I just am exploring the Lands Between, and I kind of intuitively know a little bit. Like I've gotten a little bit too far this way or that way, but just like the sense of like finding random ass like caves with death knights in it is pretty fucking cool. Or
Death knights in general are pretty fucking cool.
Like accidentally coming into a giant castle, and then you're like, I'm in a legacy dungeon now. Oops.
Yep.
Like that. I missed that from
it's discovery.
the first game.
It's exploration.
Yeah, and like I said, it's up there with like Red Dead Redemption 2 in the sense of like immersion that you get from it, where events will happen in the world or you'll happen upon something that you didn't plan to, and you're like, I guess this is what I'm doing for the next hour.
It's super refined. The base game is dense, and the base game, I couldn't tell you how many little golem dungeons they got. A ton. The little fucking monsters that...
Yeah, the little green guys.
Yeah, there's so many dungeons of those, and eventually it becomes a bit repetitive. And, you know, if you don't want to play those in the base game, don't do it. What's nice about Shadow of the Erdtree, it's less is more. There is, I think, only 3 different of the Forge dungeons. There are 3 different of the Pot dungeons, and by having less of them, they're all more fun. I'm not tired of going into another dungeon. It's like, this again, okay, I know what to expect, but instead every time there's a new twist, or it's just it's weird to say less is more with one of the largest, most generous DLCs ever. But and I can see, I've seen some complaints that like that the world is huge, but it's quite empty. And there are some points where I don't find an item for a while, and I ride torrents around for a long time. And I'm vibing so hard. I'm out here. Yeah. I'm like, look at this fucking view. Look at this world I'm exploring. And, you know, it's just pure fun, pure exploration. And if you always find something around every corner, that's not cool. I'd much rather like, oh, well, nothing's here. And then sometimes you do find something. I went under every single waterfall. I think only one had something behind it.
See, I like that, though, because there is a point in the first game, especially mid-game, where the gameplay loop, you're starting to get used to it, and you might be getting a little tired of it, running into, like, another fucking dungeon that looks just like the last one with those little fucking green guys in it. Or maybe you're, like, a little under-leveled to do the next boss, or not strong enough to do the next boss, but you feel like you've exhausted everything behind you, and you hit this little bit of like exploration fatigue. At least I did, where it was like I was so caught up on like not missing anything or like worried I was going to block out certain quest lines, and the base game is super dense. So it's a little overwhelming at times. This, like you said, less is more. It's perfect.
It's very nice.
Because that's another thing we haven't really talked about is just riding Torrent around and looking at like the view and the world that you're in. Breathtaking.
Stunning. The amount of times I just stopped playing.
Oh, yeah. I've taken screenshots.
Yeah.
I've taken a lot of screenshots.
I think that I had a glitch in my game. You don't know who Egon is yet. And if you're listening and you do, you know that you love Egon. He's very angry. Egon's a very angry man. I think something glitched at the end of the battle because I got a video of it. You know how when you summon someone for a battle, they disappear. Egon disappeared, but then the last spell he cast just kept repeating for like 5 minutes. I just left it going, and it's just this dragon screaming. He's doing a little incantation, and it doesn't stop. I was like, this dude, he even left, and he's still screaming. He just can't let it go. You're gonna, when you get to something named Baal, make sure to summon Egon inside of the arena. Something I learned in this is that, okay, there's a lot of summons for bosses. If you summon outside of the arena, the boss has more HP. If you summon inside the arena, it doesn't affect their HP.
Really? You can summon
certain enemies. It's not like your Spirit Ashes, but you can summon inside of Mesmer either Hornsent or Yolan.
Did not even notice that.
Well, you don't have Yolan progressed enough to do that, and Hornsent, I don't know if you've done enough to progress that either.
Yeah, damn. Well, I'm going back. I'm retreating. I'm going back. I had to check some shit out.
You do what you do.
Well, I definitely need to go back to get stronger to fight Mesmer, but I am enjoying having the DLC. Yeah. It's a definite 10 out of 10.
Easy.
Yeah, I don't really get why people are complaining about the things they've been complaining about. Like, it's difficult. Yes, that's what we wanted, right? Like,
dude, I love getting spanked.
And
so hot.
It makes the game all that more rewarding when, like, it starts very small. You get your ass kicked. This is my gameplay loop. I get my ass kicked 2-3 times. Then that one attack that keeps fucking me up, I dodge it for the first time.
You get it.
And then I immediately die again because I'm like, fuck yeah. And then after a little bit, you're dodging multiple attacks in a row. And then you find your window of opportunity that you can get a hit or two in.
You don't want to get greedy and do 2 attacks at once.
No. Not with, But then when you finally beat that boss, I think back to like, all right, the first time I walked in here, I was dead within 2 seconds.
Yeah.
And then now I just did a 14-minute battle. And I still have 2 flasks left. Like, it's learning.
It's accomplishments. I mean,
yeah.
I don't get that excited in other bosses. When I beat a boss in FF7 Rebirth, there was zero excitement except for Gilgamesh, or there's a couple, but like this one, every boss, it's just a challenge. It's amazing on my second playthrough, bosses like Gaius that I died for an hour straight. I got third try this time, and it's partially my build, partially because I know what they're doing.
Yeah.
There's an enemy called Romina, and maybe 2 hours? Nah, I don't know. A long time. I died a long time. It was probably 90 minutes, and I did it first try in my second playthrough. Also, I'm doing different builds, but just knowing what their attacks are and what to expect, it's very different. I guess I can't really ask you what's your favorite enemy you've fought so far? Like
my favorite regular enemy?
Yeah, like favorite anything. What's shining through on the DLC for you so far?
Mesmer's definitely been the highlight so far because I can't beat him, and
because I can't beat him.
And his design is awesome. His legacy dungeon is awesome. I like everything about him. He's very heavy metal. But if we're talking like other shit in the game, the Death Knights, I think I've encountered 2 of them so far.
Love Death Knights.
They're a lot of fun. I like those guys quite a bit. I do not like the little monk guy that you said with the twirly blade thing. Those guys I don't like. That only drop like 3,000 runes.
Yes. What'd you think of your little demi-human swordsman?
Oh, yeah. Slosh.
There's Anzi and there's Yash.
Yash.
You fight one, you get the Spirit Ash for the other.
Yash was fun.
The first time you, like, there's another one you see in the wild. First time you walk up and they just jump into the air and they like just straight up Assassin's Creed or like Batman Arkham Knight. Love it.
The new Golem, the little green guy with the one leg thing that like will just jump on top of you.
At you.
Don't like that guy.
First time I walked into that dungeon, I was like, okay. So I hate you now.
Yep. And the fireball cannon Golem shoots way too fast.
The little one.
Yeah, he's got the big like cannon head. Mm-hmm. He shoots too fast.
You can get that as a Spirit Ash. Not to be underestimated.
Oh, I used the Ancestral Follower for a while who has the giant bow.
Yeah.
That dude's super underrated.
You need to start using every new Spirit Ash. Just take your runes, go and level them up, and come back.
I'm so nervous to like, well, I'm not using any of the ancient dragon smithing stones, but like I resource hoard still.
You know, my first time with the final boss, I walked in with, I think, 40 rune arcs. I got
7.
down to 10.
Oh, Jesus.
Yep.
I know.
It's bad.
If he's weak to fire, I'll be okay.
You are weak to the final boss in general. Just like...
I got to do some leveling up.
Yes. You're going to be in a lot of pain. I threw my neck out fighting the boss. I'm not joking. I was so stressed. I felt my neck just like, oh, fuck. And I couldn't move my neck for like 2 days. It was that bad.
I was riding Torrent around and I saw a rune bear in the DLC and I turned around and said no. And I put a little marker on the map of a skull icon and I was like,
not today.
I do not have
time
for this.
Get that evil away from me.
Don't have time for this bullshit. Did not want to do it.
Yeah, but you want to get those bear claws to put on your hands.
I do, but it's not worth it yet.
The attacks are very cool. Yeah, Mesmer's probably my favorite boss. I like the Putrescent Knight. That gave me some Orphan of Cause vibes.
I do like the lion. The dancing lion was pretty cool.
There's a video I posted in the Discord, which you might have been avoiding.
I did see it now without the cape on.
Yeah, those two dudes are funny.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Rolana was great.
She's probably my least favorite so far.
Oh, I was a big fan.
Yeah. I like the hippo a lot. The hippo was cool. When the first time you get him to his second phase and he's like, I'm a porcupine hippo now. I was like, oh, fucking A, are you serious? That's when he killed me because he like just rains a bunch of fucking golden needles on you. And I'm like, this is an unfair attack. I didn't see it coming.
Favorite areas for me, I'll say the Abyssal Woods. You don't know them. Least favorite, the ancient ruins of Rau. Did not like them.
Is that the green place?
It's a place northwest.
Yeah, northwest, like out the west side of the Shadowkeep.
Yep.
It's very green.
I did not care for that. It's a different kind of dungeon. It's like this big open world dungeon, and I get the vibe they're going for, and it is not something I liked.
I walked in.
It's too repetitive. It gives me like the library in Halo 1 vibes. And that is the worst thing I can say about something.
I walked in. I found a site of grace. I sat at it, and then I went back. And I was like, I should definitely not be here.
Yeah, well, that's the problem. I'd like turn a corner when I was trying to be completionist about stuff. It's like, fuck. This is an area. So I just drop a little marker and then like, I got to come back to that. Yeah. I'd like the reusing of certain enemies. It's sparse. Like there's only 2 abductor virgins in the whole game. I appreciate their ability to not just spam things. I like that the map is got a lot to it and different segments with different enemies. The new spider scorpions are horrible.
I don't like those guys either.
I don't like those
Especially
guys.
the big boys. The big boys are gross. They give me the heebie-jeebies. It's something about the way they move.
One of my biggest oh my god moments is a certain set of ruins southeast. I won't say what kind because Tyler will know when he sees it.
That sounds gross. Yeah, it's probably going to be a bunch of the scorpion spiders.
You'll know.
The one of the biggest holy shit moments I had is when you're in the first jar dungeon, where you find Yash.
Yeah, the Ballarat Joe.
When you're running and then the fucking stairs just come out from underneath you, I think 2 drops of pee came out. I was so startled.
My first time I went around the corner and I started seeing jars, like, cool, jar stuff. And there's a jar tipped over, and the first one, like, crawls out. The innards crawl out. I was like, no shit.
Yeah, I was like...
I've been sitting here asking you every podcast, like, what's inside of you, dude? And we're like, I don't know, just a bunch of beer. And it turns out it was really fucking gross.
Yeah. I texted you, Alexander does not like this.
And you don't know a lot about what's going on with the jars, or like why the jars and who the jars, but it explains, kind of like Godric. There's some other things that are being explained through some of that lore, and I'll save that for when we get to another time. Yes, we have some Patreon comments here. I asked our Patreon supporters what's going on, including some from just the Patreon that haven't made it to the Discord. We recommend you all go over there because we have a lot of discussions on there. Devin Diedrich says, it's been said a million times already, but Egon is a Boba Fett level scene stealer for as little dialogue and scream time as he has. He's entered my holy trinity of Souls-like NPCs along Solaire of Astoria and Eileen the Crow. Curse you, Bale.
Okay.
And then Dish commented, yeah, I just came to say that exact same thing. Listening to him talk shit while launching harpoons was amazing. JV3, my favorite They Fly Now moment in the game happened in the DLC, when you find the normal skeletons rising from their graves and they grow little Icarus wings and fly around spraying Deathblight. I couldn't help but laugh out loud at my favorite new fucked up little guys. They fly now. Bryant, we're nearly done with it, and it's been an incredible experience. Every area and dungeon is so expertly crafted. This is peak From Software. I love having all of the new weapons, Ashes of Wars, and Spirit Summons to add to my builds, not to mention some really great fashion and interesting talismans. I really enjoyed the Count Emir and St. Trina quest lines. They were so cool. I also loved it when I stumbled into the Hinterlands. Getting to experience that reminded me of when I discovered Jarburg. You don't know anything of what I just said. The only things I've disliked so far are the fire golems. Seriously, they take way too long to kill, even with the cheese. And Commander Gaius. Seriously, fuck that fight.
Commander Gaius.
Yep.
Where is Commander Gaius?
You haven't fought him. And you know what's funny? After you kill Commander Gaius, you find his wife running around with his pants afterwards.
Oh, that's fun.
Judge Tempest says, The Size of Limgrave, A Tarnished Tale by Hidetaki Miyazaki. And that's all you really got to say. It's not The Size of Limgrave. Favorite bosses, Rolana, Mesmer, and Midra. Favorite area, the Shaman Village. Favorite enemies, Horned Warriors, Divine Bird Warriors. Judge Tempest, you are into pain and punishment in the worst way. Favorite thing, Moore's voice actor and also the verticality map design. Favorite lore, something jar. I won't spoil that for you.
It's Malexander, Alexander's brother.
I wish.
That'd be cool.
So, some other things that are going on with Elden Ring right now. George R. R. Martin made comments about Elden Ring being adapted into a TV show or a movie. I
was going to bring this up if you didn't. And I dislike the idea unless it's animated. If they do it any other way, I don't think I would enjoy it.
Robert Eggers directing.
Then it would be okay.
Whoever directed The Northman.
Robert Eggers.
Robert Eggers, yes.
Maybe Ari Aster.
Ari Aster, absolutely. But there are very few filmmakers I would trust with this.
I don't think it lends itself to physical and CGI. I don't think it would work well. I think if you made like an animated series, that would be the way to go about it. Yeah, it'd be much easier. Because imagine seeing a CGI grafted Godric. And the budget on that would be insane. You'd have to have it be smaller. If you're not going to do the full series of like all of it, you'd have to just have it be like The Night of Black Knives. You just have like a 60-minute movie about The Night of Black Knives and just show what happened there. Yeah. Sign me up for that. George R. R. Martin, though, was being a real coy boy about it. It's like,
I'm not saying nothing, not a word, nothing. I don't want to get in no trouble. I don't know anything about this. And it's like, George, you're being very obvious about this.
Yeah.
God bless your heart.
I think I saw the same interview. Someone's like, "Where's the Winds of Winter?" And he's like, "Well, I was just writing it on the plane."
He has been making jokes about it lately, which I'm still believing it's coming out this year, even if it's never coming out.
Never lose that hope.
The strategy guide part 3 is available for pre-order. Comes out the end of September, early October, allegedly. I already got it pre-ordered. It's just all Shadow of the Erdtree. It's going to be essentially what the first 2 guides did, but just for the DLC. Spotify now has the Shadow of the Erdtree soundtrack on it.
Good.
I don't listen to the soundtrack recreationally often. We're going to be tailgating later. I probably won't put on the Bale theme.
I did. I put on...
That would be my walkout music, though, if I was a baseball player. And then everyone would say, "Curse you, Brad!"
Oh, that'd be good. I have a record player now, so I can buy the Elden Ring vinyl and the Hades vinyl.
Say goodbye to money.
I did. Bought a lot of vinyl.
Ago. Yeah, and then... so we got Elden Dogs. Our path going forward. I did a rough estimation of how many episodes we're going to have. And there's probably another 20 episodes, I'd say pretty easily.
Music to my ears.
Music to my ears. I think it's like something like 55 would get us through covering the maps. And then there will be, a source unit incantations of the DLC. I want to do weapons. I want to do armor. We might have one mixed bag episode, which just covers some talismans and tools, maybe. If it's worth talking about.
Bestiary?
Bestiary for sure. At least one part. I think it's about one part, because there's like 50 new enemies.
We also need the lore episode that once I beat it, you can then explain to me what I just did.
There's also going to be, the board game comes out this year. We can do a board game episode maybe. And I want the last couple episodes of Elden Dogs in over a year from now, ways out, to be like a 2-parter just covering the timeline of everything, lore start to finish.
Yeah.
And
just in time for them to announce the sequel.
Oh yeah, I hope so. I wouldn't say no to that. I think this is the last Elden Ring DLC for the time being. I don't think they're going to make another DLC for this. I think From Software is moving on to something else, but I think Elden Ring 2 should definitely be happening. I don't know what story there is for it, though,
Yeah, well...
There's a lot... There, of course, could be anything happening, but I like where things are after this DLC.
Yeah, I wonder how it'll work. Is there more lands in the lands between? Maybe there's a different part of the world?
The lands above. The lands below.
The lands
the love
beside.
below.
There you go.
The love betwixt.
I could take it.
The lands begrudged.
The land's over there?
Hey, what's over there?
Yeah, everybody, it's a Midwest version
I
of the
am
game.
demigod Mariko. No! Not another one. Yeah. What I'm doing right now is I spent a fucking 90 minutes today looking at everything that I'm missing. Weapons, armors, spirit ashes, ashes of war, incantations, sorceries, talismans.
If I did that, it'd take me forever.
Well, because I already did with my main guy, Martin Lionel. I got everything that I could collect. And then I have a list of things I could only get on the second playthrough. And now I'm going to go in and find everything that I didn't get this time. The final boss, the Remembrance, has 3 things. So there are 3 spots in the game in Shadow of the Erdtree, little coffins where you can duplicate remembrances like the wandering mausoleums in the base game.
I have so many remembrances.
Yeah. So I made this, it's so tedious. And what's really tough is finding a list online that shows you your armor and weapons in the same, like it shows the list in the same order that they are in the game. Because Extra Life doesn't have that. You can sort by weight, but even that's super confusing when you're looking at 300 weapons or whatever. But I found a website that has them in the right order. But after beating the final boss one more time, I'm going to chill a little bit.
You gonna play College Football 25 when it comes out on the 19th?
I got the new Monkey Ball Rumble, and I haven't tried it yet.
Oh, well.
Reviews are saying it's the best Monkey Ball since Monkey Ball 2 in the GameCube. So I'm like, I heard that, and I'm just like, here's $50. You can fuck off. And if they're wrong, but
Yeah, I gotta beat the DLC by the 19th because once College Football 25 comes out, gonna be playing that a little bit. And I know me.
yeah,
I know me. I'll set down Elden Ring, and then I'll be 3 seasons in with Michigan, 3 national titles later.
you know, I'm so excited to go back into the base game with all of the new DLC armaments and spells.
Didn't you already do New Game Plus?
No, I've never done a new game plus,
Me either.
and I'm excited to start over and just. Oh, hi there, little buddy. Hey, Tree Sentinel. Want to play? Yeah.
Is there a cap to leveling out?
No. Oh, well, yeah, but it's fucking high. It's
Yeah.
like 900, I think. I don't know.
Jesus Christ.
Some people are on New Game. If you're a listener and you're up there, what's the highest one you got? Now, if you're not on our Discord and you're on our Patreon, go to the Discord. I'll send you another link. We have a lot of discussion over there. I want to know who's the furthest New Game Plus level. I think it might be Bryant, but I want to know because I haven't done New Game Plus because I was waiting for the DLC because I want to get completionist about it and collect everything. And I just start a new character.
I was thinking about just starting a new character and doing a dual wielding dex build because it's the one type of build I haven't really tried out because I'm so reliant on being having distance or having the shield.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, maybe New Game Plus, I do Rivers of Blood finally.
Maybe I do an arcane build and just hate myself.
Yeah, there you go.
Maybe.
An arcane,
I'm going to do an endurance build.
an arcane endurance build.
You're going to hate it. What is that, like peach iced tea? You're going to hate it. Yeah. So up next is the Gravesite Plains. We're going to dive in. And then Ballarat Settlement and Shadow Altus 2. Cerulean Coast. Jagged Peak. Shadow Keep. Shadow Tree Base. Cathedral of Manus Meadow. Ancient Ruins of Rao. Something. Yeah. Lots of stuff. But thanks for tuning in. If you're listening to this and it's relatively shortly after the DLC came out, that means you're on our Patreon and we appreciate and support you. And you support us. But we support you.
Yes.
You need something, we're here for you.
You're appreciated.
We appreciate you. Special thanks to executive producers Rykard Christianick, Malakip the Black Blade, Blackguard Big Brian Ward, Jordan Hoslow, Sorceress of Blood, Festering Fingerprint Phil Wright, Iron Fist Phil Just Phil, Knights Cavalry Coldo Gardno, Bell Bearing Hunter Bryant Ross, Crucible Knight Kelly Gutowski, and Justin Melismer the Impaler. We appreciate all of your support. And can't wait to just dive in further and further into this DLC until whatever Brad was is gone, and then my wife is married to Ansbach.
Now, I have exactly 3 hours before I have to leave for work, so I'm going to go play.
Yes. Thanks for listening. The journey has begun again.
Bye.